to enjoy life and then accept Jesus as my Savior when I've done everything and I've got married. But I thank God that God convinced me and convicted me that all what I was saying, I was deceiving myself and the truth was not in me. I was a very good messenger between my parents and my grandparents. When I was sent to take food on either, I could eat it on the way. Then when I was asked, I could cheat and say that is how I was given. I was regretting what after I've done that, but I was unable to leave that habit. Thank God that God directed me that I had to put things right. Started with my parents, my grandparents. Then I asked them for forgiveness. And my grandfather had 9 wives. It was a big family. So when I went there to ask them for forgiveness, people came. And then when they found me asking my grandmother and grandfather forgiveness, they shook their heads. And they told me that the son of Ogola has gone out of his mind. So my viewer, I can testify to you that being out of my mind, which fell on me when I received Jesus as my Savior and when I was putting things right, I am still mad until today because of the salvation of Jesus Christ. So my viewer, I've read a passage about Jesus talking with his disciples and the crowd, and he was telling them that we do not need to judge others. And my viewer, people have got different opinions. They judge others, and Jesus warned us about judging people without checking ourselves. So in verse 1 and 2, Jesus Christ is telling us not to judge others because we are also going to be judged in the same way. And then let's check the verse 1. Do not judge, or you too will be judged. My viewer, Jesus was telling them that let us not judge, because we too will also be judged. You see when somebody has done something wrong, or he has lacked love of one another, you start blaming that person has done this and this, and then you have not looked at yourself that you are even worse than that person you are judging. So he's telling us the same way we judge others, we also are going to be judged in the same measure. So my viewer, Jesus gave the people an illustration about specks on sawdust in the people's eye. That one was a very good illustration that when you see something on somebody's eye, you are trying to remove it. That is the specks on somebody's eye, the specks of dust, sawdust on somebody's eye. You try to remove it, and then you do not know that yours is even worse. In your eyes, you have a plank, which you need to remove first, is when you can see clearly. And in verse 3 and 4, it says that, why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eyes and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? How can you say